Ding, ding, ding. Time to ring the bell and start round two between UC San Diego and UC Irvine. Welcome to Orange County, California, just a stone's throw from Disneyland, where the Tritons and Anteaters do battle for the top spot in the Big West Conference on this Saturday night. And here is the updated standings in the Big West on February the 8th. A game separates UC Irvine and UC San Diego. The Anteaters won the first go-around in San Diego last month. What an atmosphere here at the Bren Center. We welcome you courtside alongside Ben Braun. My name is Steve Quis. And for the Tritons to get some revenge here after losing on January the 11th, simply they're going to have to make some adjustments.
Well, Steve, they're going to have to make some shots because they struggled mightily from the outside, but that's uncharacteristic. I believe they'll come out and they'll shoot the ball a lot better.
Just about ready to roll here inside the Bren Center, where Irvine has won 22 consecutive games. Coach, that is the longest active win streak in the nation. Behind us, we have all the students wearing the Defend the Bren. That's the slogan on their shirts. And UC San Diego traveled up probably about 250 students here, and they're doing Operation Invade Irvine tonight.
Well, we've got a sellout crowd, and it should be a great one. And why not? Steve, they're playing for first place. Huge matchup.
Opening tip belongs to the Anteaters in first place. A game ahead of the Tritons. The Anteaters are in white. Low-scoring affair the first time around. Anteaters defense held the Tritons to a season-low 52 points. This is Miles Shea with a drive. He put it up. He missed. And an offensive rebound by Tillis. He gets another one, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. He'll go to the line for a couple early on.
Good start by UCI. Steve, they're on the glass. You know, your shots don't go down. You got to chase. And if you're UC San Diego, you got to get on the glass hard because they were out-rebounded by about 10 last game.
This is Devin Tillis, 6'7" redshirt senior. Averages 13 points, 8 rebounds a game. And those 8 rebounds, third in the Big West. And he's right behind Big Bent, his teammate. Irvine comes in, having won 20 games on the season. 1 of 2 made. Streaking down the floor, knee with Tate Jones. This is also going to be a battle of 2 guys who think they have a say in being the Big West Conference Player of the Year when it's all said and done. A knee with Tate Jones for UC San Diego, and Big Bent Loiston for Irvine, who wears number 15. Here's Chris Howe, almost had his pocket pick. Opening minute of this battle.
Yeah, both teams really good defensively, Steve.
Hayden Gray with a kick out. A knee with Tate Jones. Drive, spins, gets the shot off. Missed back iron. They're going to have to make some shots to win this one. They only shot 31% down in San Diego last time. That one off the mark there for Justin Holmes. Here's Tate Jones going to drive in on Bent Loiston and score the bucket. That's something they didn't do the first time around.
No, and that's what he does. He can attack you. You've got to stay grounded. Coach Russ Turner at practice today, just challenging his guys to stay on the floor. Don't put Tate Jones to the free throw line.
He with Tate Jones, his second in the Big West at 19.9 points per game. Last team to win in this building, February of 2023, with UC San Diego, and it's Bent Loiston inside. Look at the starting lineup for UC San Diego as Howell buries a 3. That starting lineup, and you can appreciate this as a former head coach, they have been together for all 23 games this season.
That's a veteran group, and his team and his coaches, they know that.
One of only 4 teams in the country that can boast about that. All of last year, when the Tritons won 21 games, they played all 5 starters in every single game. The only team to do that. Miles Shea with a miss, rebounded by Aniwani with Tate Jones. Early lead for UC San Diego. Here's Hayden Gray. Little bounce pass on the backdoor cut to Tate Jones. Kick out Howell. Howell has made a 3.
Well, they weren't knocking those shots down the first time around, but they seem to be in a rhythm now. That's a good-looking shot. Very poised, confident.
They dared Howell to beat him last time, and he had a really good game. Just the other guys didn't step up like the time of guys. Inside to Tillis. That's why he's nearly a 55% shooter, Coach.
Yeah, well, he likes to get the ball to the rim, and those percentages are high. But Russ Turner's team have always been good offensively, but they're really good defensively this year. One of his better defensive teams.
Titans with a 3-point advantage. This is Norton K-Pitch with a touch. Here's Howell open again. Oh, they keep daring him, and he keeps saying, I'm going to beat you.
Well, they didn't make those shots the first time around. I think as a coach, you want teams to prove themselves, but I think they're starting to prove themselves.
Here's Tillis with an open three. He missed, rebounded by Tate Jones. Already 9 points for Chris Howell. Here's K-Pitch. Too long on the three. And in transition, here's Hone, one of the more decorated players in Irvine basketball history. He pushes it inside to Loyston, and he's fouled by Norton K-Pitch.
That's a great look. That's really presence of mind, knowing where your big fella is and finding him. That's going to be important in this game to really establish some high-quality shots. Again, both teams really good defensively, so you're going to have to try to manufacture some shots either in transition or from assists.
That's already the second foul on Norton K-Pitch, and that's going to send the Big West's most efficient player to date to the line, the 7-foot 1-inch senior from Germany, Bent Loyston.
He's been a good free throw shooter. And I didn't mention it early.
That's right.
I didn't want to put the whammy on. But, you know, they would like to see him get to the line more because he's such a threat inside. But he's a highly intelligent player. He makes great reads. So you've got to really be intelligent about how you double him and where the doubles come from.
He might have had a big game first time around, but he wasn't in at the beginning that long. He picked up a foul, did Big Bent, in the opening minute at UC San Diego and immediately went to Russ Turner's bench. Here's a knee with Tate Jones to the corner. They did a great job guarding Magai last time. Into Gray. Gray with a drive. Great take off the window.
Yeah, nice look. They take what the defense gives them.
And a 7-point advantage for the Tritons on the road here. It's a couple of teams that have done tremendous work on the road this season. The Tritons have won 7 road games, 10 away from Liontree Arena. Chris Howell, they've challenged him to beat him. And he scored 9 of the first 13 for UC San Diego. Irvine won the first meeting, holding UC San Diego to a season-low 52 points. Also, Irvine snapped what at the time was the longest active win streak in the nation of 12 games for UC San Diego.
Well, that was huge, but, you know, when you look at that 17%, let me put it in perspective, Steve. They were 6 for 35 from 3, so you can call that good defense, which I think it was. Irvine does a great job preparing. However, they missed a ton of shots as well, so you see the confidence coming back.
Now, these are two teams coached by just fabulous men, both with high character, great basketball IQ, and they've been on the job for a while here. Eric Olin's already won 70 games as a Division I program.
No, they've done it different ways, but in my opinion, Steve, two of the better coaches in college basketball. It's only fitting that they're playing for first place, but they've taken their team to really high marks, and there's no coincidence why they're building their programs as one of the top-ranked mid-majors in the country.
10 20-win seasons for Russell Turner, who's in his 15th season.
No, that's getting it done. He's been to tournaments and obviously, 4-time coach of the year in this conference. That's saying a lot. Eric Olin himself, just big-time success.
Kyle Evans in now, gets it to Jurian Dixon a little too hard and trying to get the offensive rebound. It was Devin Tillis. He knocked it out of bounds. Before we went to the break, of note, foul was on Ty Magai. That's his first.
Well, we talk about Ty Magai now. Again, he was held to 4 points last game.
Yeah,
so
3 shots.
Yeah, he only got 3 shots. And if you're going to try to devise a game plan, if you're UCSD, I know Coach Olin's going to say, young man, you can't be unselfish this game. I know you were assisting, but we've got to get you to score and look to be aggressive.
Yeah, this is the exact same way that Irvine defensively attacked the Tritons the first time around on January the 11th. We're going to have a foul on Ofiri Ujidujeli.
You see UCSD, what they're doing, Steve, they're really trying to be aggressive coming off screens, and Russ Turner's teams are pretty aggressive defending. They're going to bump you. There's no time for the faint of heart if you're playing against Russ Turner's teams.
Howell to McGuy. Bring a second defender over to McGuy. Already 9 for Howell. Here's Hayden Gray driving the baseline. Probing. Leaving for Justin Rochelin. And a rebound by Maximo Milovic. And then a whistle underneath on the drive by Howell. And they want to reset the shot clock here. Just inside of 15 minutes to go. First half of play. A battle for first place. In the Big West Conference, the Anteaters come in at 20-3, 10-1 overall. First place by a game over the Tritons, who are 19-4, 9-2 in the Big West.
But Steve, if you want to be a championship caliber team, you've got to be able to go into tough teams and win on the road. I know it's not easy, but Irvine did it, at UCSD, and so now UCSD trying to return the favor, and they're off to a fabulous start so far. I know it's early, but this is how you want to start. They're not letting the crowd and the previous game affect them.
Last play under review. I think they're checking the shot clock right here. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's two teams that have done a lot of damage on the road this season. In the case of UC Irvine, 9 road victories. When I checked this morning, the only team in the NCAA that has one more is Central Connecticut State. And then we mentioned Tritons with 7 true road victories, 10 wins away from Lion Tree Arena.
No, that just doesn't happen very often. And if you want to be successful, you want to win championships, you want to be considered for postseason play, learn how to play on the road. That toughens you up. We got a little break here. I think the officials do want to sort this out. But we talked about our coaches, the coaches in the matchup here. These two teams and coaches, Steve, as you know, they prepare.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to a Eric Olin practice and you go to a Russ Turner practice. I mean, the level of preparation in their practices is phenomenal. And also it speaks to their kids, because to prepare at that high level, you got to have intelligent kids that can process what you're trying to give them. There's so many things they put into their scouting reports. I've sat in both film sessions, and it's high level, trust me.
So the review right now, they're looking to see whether or not the ball nicked the rim and what to do with the shot clock as a result. This is what they're looking at here, as Howell went in against Yuja Dujele. Somebody put it up.
I think it was before that, Steve. I think they were looking early. Obviously, Eric Olin not real happy.
Okay,
yeah.
Shot clock violation. They erroneously reset it.
And you can see why Coach Olin's not happy about that. He really is upset because things are going their way, and he doesn't want to see things turn, and especially after a call or an inadvertent shot clock violation.
Here's a drive, Miles Che, and it's sticking with UC Irvine.
The officials letting these guys play a little bit, Steve. They've called a couple of fouls, but you can't call every foul on every play. These guys are bumping, grinding. They're playing very physically, both teams.
Che into Evans, the Colorado State transfer, hands it off to Che. Had a big game first time. While he scored 15 points, had 4 assists in the last game against the Tritons, that lockdown face guard defense against Ty McGuy was really his claim to fame, and he buries a 3 there.
Well, he can do that, and he's didn't knock down his first couple, but you don't want to give him a lot of open looks. He's 40% from 3. He knows what to do. I mean, he just solid. The good ball rotation, no hesitation, and just a late closeout defensively.
Yeah, they needed that. They're shooting just 30%, while the Tritons are shooting 62.5%. Gray is going to drive. Here's Howell at 9 quick. Way marked by Torian Lee, whose sister Deja Lee was the Big West Player of the Year for the Irvine women last year. And a turnover, something the Tritons rarely ever do.
No, they don't, but that's, again, a credit to Russ Turner's team defensively. What a phenomenal defensive possession for Irvine.
4-point advantage here for UC San Diego. I want to talk about turnovers here. Tritons are second in the NCAA in turnover margin at +7, number 1 in the Big West. That was their second turnover. Irvine's turned it over only once, and we are 6 minutes in. Lee with a bounce pass. Tillis with a spin move inside. He got position on Middleditch and scores.
Great drop step, great spin baseline. No help on the baseline side. Great move, great read.
All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. 5-0 run for Irvine in the last 2 minutes. That shot up, and it's going to get the friendly bounce. Ty McGuy finally up.
How can he get the friendly bounce in the Brent Center? That doesn't make sense, but he got it.
Ty McGuy's a fantastic player.
Yeah, nice look.
Division II transfer for a while, is leading the nation in made threes. That's what he does best. He's made 80 of them. Shea no-look pass inside. Evans, good move, missed it. Evans gets the offensive rebound. And they're going to say it was last touch by Chris Howell.
You know, you can tell in a big game, Steve, both teams, you get the ball inside, you tend to hurry yourself a little bit. I know both coaches coach this, but they've got to take their time and try to draw fouls. You know, just both teams in a little bit in a hurry. Now they're saying it's going the other way.
That was the 5th offensive rebound for an Irvine team that averages 8 a game, but they've given the ball now to UC San Diego.
No, but you talked about turnovers. That, you know, the Anteaters, they only turned it over 7 times last game, but those turnovers led to baskets, 16 points. Yeah. So you can see Russ Turner doesn't want his team to turn it over.
K-pitch into a knee with Tate Jones. Gets one-on-one against Evans. Spins. And Evans got a piece of that one.
Great defensive patience.
Anteaters trailing by 4. Largest lead for UC San Diego was 7 points at 13-6. Not a whole lot of offense since. Tillis against Tate Jones, and a little reach-in foul there.
You know, so much of defense is discipline. You know, both coaches talk about it. Russ Turner for sure today. Shot fake discipline, shot discipline, foul discipline. How do you keep from putting a guy like Tate Jones that makes a living there? How do you keep him off the foul line? You got to stay on the floor. You got to stay disciplined. How many times you shot fakes? You got to stay glued.
That was the first on Tate Jones. Double team comes of Tillis. Torian Lee, and he's going to turn it over.
Well, he got lucky. I think he might have double dribbled to begin with. Didn't get called, and then he just a little bit in a hurry. You know, both teams playing at a pretty fast pace, but you got to slow down because, as you said, turnovers can really mount up, and that could be the difference in the game.
Shouldn't be as a surprise they're 1-2 in scoring defense in the league. With the Tritons being number 1 off the missed shot there in transition, here come the Anteaters.
Ray
chasing forward.
Ray asking for a little push in the back, didn't get it.
Royston with K-pitch out to come get him. Cohen 4 to shoot. Rochelin guarding him. The blow by off the window too hard. Ball is loose. 50-50 ball. Who's going to get it? Possession arrow pointing toward UC San Diego. And the Tritons will have possession of the basketball when we come back. But the offense has slowed down for UC San Diego, who tonight is looking to catch the Anteaters in the Big West standings. Well, 6 Division II transfers, right? You heard me right. In the era and the ever-changing world of college athletics, the era of NIL and the transfer portal, the Tritons have built this over the past 2 seasons with D2 transfers mostly. Sure, they have a pair of Division I transfers from Oregon State and St. Mary's, but the infrastructure built by 6 Division II guys.
Now, how important are these transfers? I mean, I don't care Division II, Division III. Players can play, and these guys can play, but, you know, Steve, they account for, how about this, 95% of their scoring production and 96% of their rebounding. Yeah. How important are these guys? And 99% of their free throws. So Eric Owens built his team around these guys. You know, much respect. And here it is. I mean, look at those graphics. My goodness. Those guys are making their mark on this program.
And to take it a step further, the top 3 guys that you saw there, Hayden Gray leads the nation in steals. For a time there, Tyler McGuy led the nation in three-point makes, and Aniwa Tate Jones, who you see there on your screen, leads the nation in getting to the free throw line and making free throws.
Now, it's tough. I mean, you mentioned this day and age of people leaving, and Russ Turner's been hit with transfers. He's had players leave, and you just got to regroup. And, whether you go the high school route or transfer route, you've got to build your team, and these two coaches have done that.
Well, Irvine's got three guys that are playing in over 100 games together in this one, so got a lot of veteran leadership there. Here's Tate Jones and a travel.
Yeah, you can see Irvine's got his number now. They've really done a good job of just taking away the things he likes to do. He wants to get you up in the air. He wants you to play off balance. You've got to stay disciplined, and Russ Turner's got his guys doing it. Got his guys playing that way.
Tritons have been held scoreless for over 2 minutes. Same with UC Irvine. The offensive pace has slowed down. Wow, Gray flies right past Hone into the front row. Loishton is double-teamed. And that's going to go off of K-pitch. It'll stick with Irvine.
Ben Loishton hasn't gotten in the flow of this game, and the Tritons have had a lot to say about
by design,
that.
Right?
Yeah, they're not going to let him get in. You got to start with him if you're going to try to devise a plan to get UCI and keep them at bay.
Yeah, he's calling for it now, and he's going to turn it over.
Yeah, they thought he was trying to make a cut to the basket, and his teammate didn't read it.
He was so good in that first game on January the 11th, a double-double, 23 points, 13 rebounds, 5 offensive for Ben Loishton from Germany. Nobody has scored in a while. Tate Jones to Rochelin in foul trouble first time. And that's short, and it's going to go off Loishton. He says no, but one of our officials says yes. Subs are coming in. Russ Turner not happy.
Jeffrey Mellon, very calm about it. I've had him as an official. He said, no, I got this one. I'm right here, right in front of my eyes. You may not like the call, but that's the direction. No, it's going the other way. But, both coaches, both teams just trying to just fight for every possession.
And it goes to K-pitch. Jeff Campbell and Doug Sturdivant also working this one, and that shot up and good. And for the Tritons, after starting 4 of 5, are now 3 for their last 8. And finally, somebody scores for the first time in the last 3 minutes.
It's rare to get an open look. They got an open look because Irvine's all over the place. They've got a man and a half to the ball almost at every junction.
9 for Chris Howell, who's tied his career high with 3 threes, and that came against Irvine on January the 11th. He got him in a hurry, but nothing since. Over the top, Loishton, and he gets rid of it right in the lane and scores the bucket.
Yeah, and that's what they've got to do. And Russ Turner and the staff work hard on that. The high-lows are really hard to defend. You can guard it from the wing, but when he gets in the high post down, high-low, there's no outside.
He's got 5. He's a 53% shooter, and that's going to go off Tate Jones.
And you can see Tate Jones trying to draw contact at every possession, and Irvine's doing a good job. Really doing a good job. But watch Ben Loishton again. I mean, he's now got the ball on the high-low. They front. He goes over the top. He knows not to go to the rim. There's a guy waiting for him, so he takes the jump hook over his shoulder. Great read.
Solid player with 11 double-doubles. He's in a position to get a rebound here on the offensive glass. He had 5 the first time around, and they fouled him as he went up.
Well, you said it best, Steve. He put himself in position, and he's a load down there. You've got to put a body on him. But he makes something out of nothing because that was a missed shot. He grabs the rebound. Now he's going to the line for 2.
Yeah. Second on time a guy, so that's a concern for the Tritons. And just because he's 7'1" doesn't mean he can't make them from the free throw line. He's an 84% free throw shooter.
Now that's getting it done. You talk about 11 double-doubles on the season, top 10 in the country. And if you can do that every game, not only the points you're scoring or the rebounds, you've got to devise, as we said, a game plan around it to try to take him out of the game.
In that first game against the Tritons, his plus-minus was 23. That is off the charts.
Yeah, I think if you're not paying attention and don't know what that means, that's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
That guy deserves to be on the floor.
Yeah. And that basically means when they're on the floor, when he was on the floor, they were 23 points better than a team that, is first in the Big West in scoring defense, allowing 62 a game, and a foul on the drive by K-pitch. Well, here's our ACC Big 12 Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN. R.J. Davis leads North Carolina against Chase Hunter and Clemson, who won tonight over Duke. That's at 7 Eastern. Then number 5 Houston host Baylor in only the 4th matchup ever between the Cougars and the Bears.
Oh, that promises to be a great one. Not that North Carolina Clemson's not going to be a good one. That's going to be a brawl as always. But Baylor-Houston, that's become a pretty good rivalry in terms of those two teams regionally and nationally.
Foul was on Ofiri Udijujelli, the grad student from Chino Hills High School. Played with the Ball brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about veteran leadership. Ofiri, who just committed the fouls, playing in his 144th career game at Irvine. That's top 5. The record's 148, so he's going to smash that on the back end of this Big West season.
Nothing like veteran leadership and guys that can stay together and play for an extended period.
K-Pitch makes them both, stretches the lead out to 4. 9:25 to go. It's tracking a lot like January the 11th, 100 miles down I-5 in San Diego.
Now, great atmosphere here. 2 high-quality teams. Very few teams really want to play these 2 teams when they're at their best. They're great basketball teams and well coached.
Owen harassed on the perimeter. One of the keys, they wanted to make a lot of shots from the outside. Owen defended nicely. Here's Shea. Shea inside, and Rochelin will get called for the foul. Jurian Dixon with the shot attempt. Man, this kid right here, Justin Rochelin, was a non-factor in the first game because he picked up 4 fouls in a 3-minute first-half clip against Irvine.
Yeah, and you know that's one thing you don't want to do is take yourself out of a game with fouls. It's part of the game, but you got to keep yourself in there. But you know, these 2 teams need their players on the floor. Guy gets in foul trouble, it can affect the game. But when we talked about these 2 teams playing for first, and there's some awfully good teams underneath them too that are vying to get in the mix.
Yeah, Riverside could upset the apple cart.
Really, Riverside, and look what UC Santa Barbara's meant over the last several years. You know, they've been in the top 2 every year, and they're still very dangerous. Joe Pasternak doing a great job there. Jim Les, UC Davis. I don't know that you want to play them. And T.Y. Johnson. I mean, they've got some teams and some individuals that can hurt you big time. So these 2 teams, I think, glad to be playing for first, but they'd like nothing better to lock down the top spot. Here's a zone. Now, Russ Turner talked about this in shoot-around today. He will employ a zone, different looks out of the zone, matching up, doubling out of it. Communication the key if you play zone.
Rochelin, a bounce pass inside. Middlevich tried to keep it alive, turned it over. That's the 5th. Very uncharacteristic for the Tritons. They only average 9 a game. Udijujelli almost lost the handle on it, not once but twice. Zoned by UC San Diego.
Now they're switching up now. They're going to switch pretty much every man for man.
Shea gets a shot off on the baseline and gets fouled. Now, if that's on Magai, that's going to be his 3rd.
Well, that's crucial because now he's got to go to the bench. You cannot allow him to stay on the floor and pick up a 4th foul in the first half. But both these teams making great adjustments defensively now.
And that's going to be the 3rd on Magai. He's only played 9 minutes. He's the 7th leading scorer in the Big West at 17 a game. It's really hard to navigate a game and win with him on your bench for a significant amount of time.
No, he's just a big-time scorer. He knocks down 40% of his threes, a little under 90 from the free throw line. And he's getting steals for you every game. I mean, he's had 19, 24, and 19 in his last 3 games. So you don't want him to be out of the game for long. And I think Coach Olin will leave him there and see how the game progresses. Game's close, you leave him there. Starts, you see makes a run. He may be back on the floor.
Shea's a dynamite free throw shooter, 2nd of the Big West at 88%.
Here's that 2-3 matchup. Now they're going to go man out of it a little bit. They show you 2-3, but they'll match to a guy in their area. Really big communication.
Tate Jones out to Rochelin, the Oregon State transfer. And a miss. And that's going to be Anteater basketball. And that'll take us to a break. We have tightened up in Orange County tonight. 1-point lead for UC San Diego. We shouldn't be surprised that this is a low-scoring affair at the under-8 timeout of the first half. These two teams are 1 and 2 in the Big West in scoring defense. Tritons only give up a shade over 62 points per game, and Hayden Gray has been fantastic, the point guard for the Tritons. On Wednesday, he was named one of 15 players on the midseason Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list, and then the very next night he goes out and matches a career high with 7 steals.
Yeah, and that's not a fluke either, Steve. I mean, how about he's averaging a little shade under 4 on the year? You've got to really be careful when he's in the vicinity, because your pocket will be picked. And Russ Turner spent, again, a lot of time talking about protecting the ball because he knows how good, obviously, Gray is. But you've got to be aggressive, too, against guys that like to steal. And the more you go east-west, the more they're going to pick your pocket.
You know what I like best about Hayden Gray, and you'll love this, of all the coaching stops you've been at? He has 81 steals, Coach. He has turned the ball over just 35 times throughout the season. That's almost 3-1, right?
You got to love it.
Here's Hone. Hone from the elbow right. Missed it. Evans trying for an offensive rebound, but Milovich grabs it. He's a Division II transfer from Biola, which is in South Los Angeles County. Rochelin with a drop. He's very athletic. He got met at the rim, and Milovich is fouled as he went up.
Yeah, a lot of contact on that first drive. No call. Second call, more certain. But, you know, you can see it. Here's that drive to the rim. I thought a little bit of the arm there, but, well, they say hands part of the ball, but second play, officials caught it. So this is what you want to do if you're UC San Diego. Tritons would love to be at the free throw line here.
Milovich. Tritons are perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Boy, Irvine's already been to the line 10 times.
Well, they get there. You're not surprised about that. But now, if you're the Anteaters, you cannot allow second chance points here. I mean, Russ Turner's team, they've been really good defensively and rebounding. This is not characteristic for one of his teams to give up many offensive rebounds.
That was a big break for the Tritons there off the Milovich missed shot and went off of the Anteaters out of bounds. So additional possession here for UC San Diego. Hayden Gray. Here's Tate Jones trying to go downhill, and a foul.
Well, you can look into the eyes of the defenders for UC Irvine, and you've got 10 eyes on Tate Jones, and for good reason, because he's tricky, he's deceptive, and he'll beat you not only to the basket when you get to the foul line, but he'll find people too.
First on Justin Hone, and well, nobody has been to the free throw line more than Aniwa Tate Jones. This will be his national leading 200th free throw attempt, and that is his national leading 162nd free throw made. Yeah, and you know he's trying to get there, Steve, and it's still hard to guard. Again, as a coach, you're sitting in film sessions. Unfortunate to sit in some of these sessions. You get the point across to your players, but doing it, studying it, saying it, preparing for it, it's a lot different to come out in court and do it, because there's a lot of stuff going on where he's really good with the ball. Only got to the free throw line 6 times in the first meeting. He's usually good for about 10 trips to the line per game. Yeah, that's an art. Substitution. Norton K-Pitch comes in for UC San Diego. Maximo Milovich exits. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Oyston a little bit more involved in the offense. Tritons doing a good job keeping it out of his hands, but he's got to get some touches and get some rolls to the basket. He has 7 points. He had 23 in the first meeting. Here's Tillis, met by a double team to Loyston. He's just so big. Well, there you go. Start by getting him to the rim. And Russ Turner is saying, all right, how about the foul call? A big guy got hit, nothing. And he's having a little bit of conversation. He's got 9. Tate Jones again with a take. This time he came up empty. Yeah, they'd like to push it if they can. Get some easy looks. Loyston hasn't missed a shot yet. No, he's got to get more touches. Couldn't get enough for me, and Russ Turner, I know, is going to try to get him in good position. Here's Shea for the 20-win Irvine Anteaters. That's all they do is rack up 20-win seasons. Well, kind of surprised. Just so consistent. Exactly. Tillis 4 to shoot out to Hone with Bray flying, and he rattled that one home. What a 3 by Justin Hone. Great job at spotting up on the floor. You can see the Anteaters, they're fired up. They're back in that zone. That's the first pass. It was 1-0 and a lob up there and reestablishing the lead. Tate Jones to Rushler.
Yeah, when Tate Jones draws a crowd, so when he draws a crowd, he's going right to the rim. And it's pretty hard to cover high-low when he's got that ball in the high post.
That's an SAT where that lead by Irvine was ephemeral. That means short-lived, kid.
I like it.
I don't need to teach any of the kids that, though, that go to either Irvine or UC San Diego. They all had about 1,500-plus SAT scores to get in.
I taught English, but I'm still learning from you, Steve. Thanks. Now, how about Ben Braun? We talked about how he just makes himself available. He holds off. Great job by Ben Braun. And then there's the kick out and the spot up in a difficult three. But I like the alley-oop over the top because you put so much attention when Tate Jones has it. If you can move without the ball, good things happen.
Foul was on Norton K-Pitch. That's his third. So now you have two starters, K-Pitch and Ty Magai, who have 3 fouls apiece for a UC San Diego team that doesn't really go that deep in the first place. The rotation we're talking is 8 guys.
No, but that's part of the UCI's strategy is to try to go at guys and get some guys in foul trouble because you've got to try to make them pay somehow, and you want to get some of those good players on the bench if you can.
Missed free throw. Irvine is third nationally in made free throws, 81% from the free throw line. That's tops in the Big West Conference.
Yeah, and that foul, if you're Irvine and the coaching staff now trying to, counts a little bit. You don't want to commit those types of fouls, 75 feet from the basket. You don't mind it. Helps situation underneath the basket in the paint, but you got to let those go.
So third on Ofiri Ujijujeli.
Well, that's why, because there's no advantage gained there. You can full court press, but you're not going to get a steal. There it is again. I mean, it's the reach in, it's the brush away, and you're just too close. Got a space.
Here's Gray, straightaway 3, missed back iron. Tate Jones got the offensive rebound, and then he's going to turn it over. Trying to knock it off of somebody out of bounds. Oh, what a pass by Che to Loiston, and he scores the bucket.
You want to see a no-look pass, Steve? That was a no-look pass. He had no idea that he must have eyes in the backside. That was a great look.
Well, that's why he wears 77. That's Che sanity, like Jeremy Lin and Lin sanity, right?
Good.
Tate Jones open for a 3, missed long. Rebound, Eli Chol. And that's going off of Che for an Irvine turnover.
Well, and Russ Turner not happy with his big fella. He said, look, you got to read. You got to be the passers, got to be the eyes. You can see where defenders are setting up. So if you're going to throw that pass, you got to read the defense. Tough mistake because there was some momentum going to the Anteaters for sure.
Hayden Gray got a steal recorded there. And Gray with a great take over the 7-foot 1-inch Loiston.
Wow, no fear. Just go right over the top. That's what you have to do. You got to be aggressive. Yeah, unfortunate turnover. That was a 4-point turnaround.
4 for Hayden Gray. Even at 26. Low scoring first half, coming up on 4.5 to go from the Bren Center in Irvine. First place battle in the Big West. That is Lee, missed it. And an offensive rebound there by Chol. Miles Che, and a blocking foul is going to be called. They're going to get Chris Howell, who couldn't get set in time.
No, good call by the officials. Right on it. I always joke, Steve, these seats officials always do a good job. When I was sitting across the way.
Not so good, huh?
No, I was not really, but no, these are great calls because you can see the defender was not only moving, but it was right 1 foot in the arc. Good job.
Got to keep Che off the free throw line where he's an 88% free throw shooter, second in the conference. He's perfect 3 for 3. He's a UT Chattanooga transfer. He had 16 starts last year as a freshman for the Moccasins. And he's from here in Los Angeles. That's not a place where you see a lot of kids from Los Angeles, the southern section here in the CIF or the LA City. You don't see them go all the way to UT Chattanooga.
No, but he got back here in a hurry, and he's doing a great job for this UC Irvine team.
Yeah. Good pickup. They had a few guys leave in the portal. The Welling brothers come to mind.
No, they've done a good job, from there. But now you got the Titans trying to maintain here. They can see if they can get back in this game and get a lead.
7 for Che. Tate Jones found a spot he likes. He's not going to miss from there in the paint.
No, he got wide open. there was no help. And you've got to put another body there, at least to challenge or make him give it up.
Half dozen for Aniwa Tate Jones from New Zealand, Hawaii Hilo transfer. Averages almost 20 points a game, second in the conference. Dixon, he's a San Diegan, went to St. Augustine, inside to Loiston, who finally missed, but then tipped in his own miss.
Great second effort. He missed the first one. As a shooter, you know where the ball's coming off. He knew it was coming off. He was short. He put it right back up on the tip.
Second chance points favor Irvine. They've got 8 of them here, and they've got a 2-point lead. Their biggest lead of the game. Here's how he made his first his, and he bricked that one. And it's going to go off of Loiston out of bounds. No, they're going to say off Milovich. Wow, I thought that went off of Loiston.
Yep, went off his feet.
Yep. And that's going to take us to a break in the action. 3:23 to go. Bren Center is packed here at Irvine, California. Everybody passing up on Disneyland and such to watch the Anteaters and Tritons battle for first in the Big West. We start this segment here with a shout-out, a very happy 80th birthday to Betty Shepard. That's Russell Turner's mom. We understand her and Russ's dad, Ron Turner, are watching tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's such a touching moment, you know. And Russ, a pretty hard guy, tough guy, as you know. But, boy, when he talked about his parents in the 80th birthday today, and I was like a kid again. I mean, you know, that's your mom. That's your parents, and he was beaming about that. So I said, hey, we're going to give you some love today on the air.
Yeah.
And, you know, just a young guy, proud of his parents, and I'm tickled for him, and glad that they could be watching. They're up late.
Yeah.
But why not? You got to celebrate your 80th birthday. You got to stay up late, right?
He's done an amazing job.
Be proud of their son, and that's for sure. Look what he's done. I mean, come on. I mean, all these 20-win seasons. I think the only other coach in the league, maybe Joe Pasternak, had 20-win seasons. But Russ Turner has done it for so long now, and he's done it, you know, to perfection. You just expect the Russ Turner team to win 20 games.
Yeah. And in the interest of fairness, Eric Olin's parents came out for this one. It's such a big game. And
absolutely.
So did his brother and his wife, Steve and Sharon. Eric's dad and stepmom are in the building here tonight. They were sitting behind the bench a moment ago. But
it's so special when your family can share your successes as a coach and your players. It's big. It's family.
Irvine with a 2-point lead. Exactly 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Low-scoring game. Again, it's the top 2 defenses in the Big West. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Didn't draw iron.
Well, they missed Ben Loiston inside. He was open, I thought, early. And the defense was so good on the perimeter. The pressure was so good, they just couldn't see him. But I know Russ Turner will discuss that probably during the timeout. During the action here if he can.
Tritons could use a 3 now. They opened 3 for 3, right? Chris Howell knocking down a career high, or matching a career high at threes. 0 for 7 since. Ty Maguy is on the bench, one of the leaders in the nation in 3. He's been there for a while with 3 personal fouls and been out since the 8:21 mark.
Yeah.
So over 6 minutes. We're not going to see him till the second half, are we?
No, and I think that's probably wise. If the game's close, you don't want to chance that. But you mentioned 3-point looks, and you know, it's tough to get good 3-point looks against both these teams. They play great defense. Russ Turner's team, 39% field goal percentage, and they don't give up a lot of open threes. Yeah,
there's so many great storylines. We haven't been able to talk about all of them because the 2 defenses have shut each other down.
Yeah, they make it tough.
Here's Tate Jones probing. 3 to shoot. Launches over home. Missed front iron. Rebound. The San Diego native, Jurian Dixon, who went to St. Augustine High School, played for Mike Hawk down there.
Yeah,
great program.
Did a great job.
And there's a takeaway.
Yeah,
Milovich ahead to Aiden Burke. Bounce pass. Throws it down. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
See, that's a momentum breaker right there. Things were going UC Irvine's way. And how about UCSD? No problem.
Well, again, Roslin only played 6 minutes as a result of 4 fouls in a 3-minute clip in the first half against Irvine. He averages 19 minutes a game, so he's been chomping at the bit for almost a full month to get back on the floor. And that's going to be a turnover for Irvine on the baseline.
You know, Steve, I asked you, about, we'll get back to it, but, we talked about what can happen in fast break basketball, but watch the outlet pass And watch the look. I mean, that's just running the floor, textbook fast break, filling the lanes, 3 guys wide. The right pass is made. You know, you really got to admire what the Tritons have done, because they're on a short turnaround. They just played a game Thursday, and Irvine's been off for a week, so I was a little worried about that, but you can see
turnover. Numbers back the other way. Here's Dixon, a 3. No. Rebounded by Howell. You know, those 3 guys they pulled off the dunk are 3 bench guys, by the way, for UC San Diego, with all the foul trouble.
Now they've got some guys that can deliver.
Tate Jones with his back turned to the basket. That one got knocked away. Last touch by Tillis. Sticking with the Tritons. 1:02 to go in the first half. 18 seconds to go on the shot clock. 30-30.
Well, if there's any question about it, if this game was going to be competitive, I think that question's been answered. These 2 guys going at each other.
30-second timeout. Use it or lose it timeout used by UC San Diego. Back to Irvine after this. Neither team given an inch. The UC Irvine Anteaters have won 22 straight at home, dating back to February the 23rd of 2023. That's the nation's longest active home court winning streak. Last team to win in this building was UC San Diego 2 Februarys ago.
Guess what? Eric Olin knows what that's like. He had a streak going, and West Turner's team kindly put that one to rest, so I think he'd like to return the favor here.
That was another ephemeral streak, too, because Tennessee had lost like a day or 2 earlier. Their 14-game winning streak was over. And Tate Jones inside to Milovic. Wow, defending was Leuchten.
But you've got to play Tate Jones not just as a scorer, because he can definitely find guys. So as you're trying to help out when he puts the ball on the deck, he's got the ball on the string, and he can, as soon as he puts it down, he'll pinpoint past of his teammates.
Well-designed play. Irvine now calling a 30-second use it or lose it timeout. If you're getting points out of Maximo Milovic, you're doing something right. The Viola transfer from Argentina, only 2.5 points per game and 3 rebounds. And right there, he says, "Stand back, Buenos Aires. I'm going to score."
No, he's capable, and that's what good players do. You know, it might not be your day, and then all of a sudden you get the opportunities. If you're a player, you find ways. But that's a good timeout. I like the timeout by Russ Turner. Obviously, they're not going to get the last shot of the half, but they want to get a good one. And you're calling this timeout for 2 reasons. 1, to get a good-looking shot, but 2, you're setting up your defense, because they've got to have both things in mind when they come back on the floor. They would love to take some momentum into the locker room.
39.2 to go. San Diego, the UC San Diego Tritons have had as big as a 7-point lead at 13-6, and then the offense went really quiet. And for Irvine, they've had a few leads in the first half, but none bigger than 2.
No, but again, these teams know each other. They prepare. They're taking away your strength.
Difference between the shot clock and the game clock is about 12.5 seconds. Leuchten looking for the assist. Going to wind up turning it over.
Yeah, too unselfish. He had a really good look from about 6 feet, point blank. Just decided to pass it. The big fella, 7'1", got to shoot it.
He's had a strong first half with 13 points.
Well, here's that zone look. They're going to look at a little 1-1-3. See if they can give me a look, kind of trap out of it if they can.
Shot clock, game clock difference, 2 seconds. That's a part of a lob for Tate Jones. A rare turnover going to lead to a turnover on the other end. Both teams getting way too quick here in the final moments.
And you know, Irvine had the last shot. They had 10 seconds. They made the turnover, and they could have rewarded themselves. Just got in a hurry. You love the enthusiasm, but you got to come up with that last shot. And they didn't. They turned it over, and guess what? UC San Diego has got the last shot.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. 8 turnovers aside.
No, and then, you know, neither team turns it over much. UC San Diego, 9 turnovers a game. That's one of the lowest turnover margins, and Russ Turner's team doesn't turn it over. So here's the last shot.
Gotta hurry. Here's Gray. Hone to Howell. Howell misfires, and that's how we end the first half. UC San Diego with a 32-30 lead, and the Tritons are 16-0 when leading at half this season.
Yeah, that's a good stat, Steve, but you know what? My philosophy, stats are meant to be broken. Streaks are meant to be broken. We'll see. Yep. Stick around.
Howell made 3 threes to match a career high pretty quick, and it's been Big Ben from Germany after that. 2 points separating these teams at the half. 1 game separates them in the Big West standings. Well, a game separates them in the standings. 2 points separates them at the half here from the Bren Center in Orange County, California. And for Irvine, Bent Loyston has been outstanding with 13 first-half points.
Well, he started slowly, but he came on late, Steve, and what he's done is he's been able to get to the rim, and they're going to need him this half to step up and have another big half.
Meantime, Chris Howell had 9 points, but we look at what Bent has done.
Well, he's made himself available. He's got great hands. He knows how to position, and he's just done a good job. But UC Irvine's got to continue to go to him.
And Chris Howell, they dared him to beat him in the first game.
Yeah, and when you get open looks, you better have some confidence. And he's shot the ball with confidence. He's knocked down 3 big shots. He's almost, pretty much doubled his average. So we'll see if that's been a strategy of UC Irvine to give him some more looks. See if he can continue to do that.
Those 3 threes came quickly. In the first go-around, he had 11 points when they dared him to beat him. And while he did a lot of good things, it still wasn't enough. Irvine came away with an 8-point road win. So here we go, the 22-game winning streak on the line, and a turnover to open the proceedings here in the second half.
Well, you see San Diego, interestingly, opened up a little bit of a zone there. That was a little bit of a matchup, switched off ball action, and gave Irvine a little trouble with their look.
They started to get a little sloppy at the end of the first half. The teams combined for 7 turnovers in the final 2:48 of the half. 2 for UCSD, 5 for UCI. And a foul away from the ball here in the opening 29 seconds.
Yeah,
yet Miles Chafer is for.
Well, that's not how this game was called in the first half. So now they're calling it, maybe we'll call it a little bit tighter. We'll see. But, if you're Irvine, you got to really do a good job here defensively, get off to a good start.
I remember you remarking about how they were letting him play.
Early, yeah.
But then, the coach is getting the official's head, right? Here's Howell again, and he missed one more time. And each time he's pulling it right. It's a little worse each time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I think Irvine said, look, you're going to have to hit a few more shots.
Yeah.
For my liking.
He's a really good defender. That's what Chris Howell does best, is 50 steals, and Tillis came up short. Now he's got to get back on defense and guard Tate Jones. Gray drives. Kick out. Here's K-Pitch, and a 3 goes down.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Ben Loyston hasn't, looked at he got the ball in the paint, didn't even look at the basket. He was so effective getting near the basket. I think you'll watch him kind of settle back in. If you're Irvine, you've got to make him a big factor for you.
Well, Tritons needed that, Coach, because they were 3 for their first 3. Howell made the first 3. Then they missed their last 9 threes until K-Pitch knocked that one down. He's 29% shooter on threes, but it's been ticking up of late. Speaking of threes, hits one.
Yeah, a little salute to the San Diego contingent to let them know he's back.
That's Operation Invade Irvine. Back in Ty Magai. He had 3 fouls in the first half. He sat the last 8-12. Tate Jones with the assist to K-Pitch.
Well, again, he drives, but, you can't just play him as a driver and a scorer. You must know he's going to be an assist guy, too. Try to get deflection, challenge his passes.
4-point lead for the Tritons. Let's go on 5-2 into that bucket right there by Shea.
He's feeling it now, and if you're the Tritons, you better get a mark on where he is, because he's got it going. He's got a great touch.
Gray missed back heel, rebounded by Dixon. Howell trying to get a steal. Shay's got 13 now. Hone into Dixon against McGuire, who's got 3 fouls, and that's going to be a 4th, and count it. The guy didn't think he got a piece of him, but wow.
I like the action, Steve. You go right on the block, don't settle for shots, and you get a post up and a turnaround. I mean, that's just directing where you want the ball to go. There's a designated post up, and there it is. Just, I got you in my back, and I'm going to score it.
A fourth for Ty Magai, and that is the second consecutive time that the Tritons have had to navigate a game with one of their big guys getting in foul trouble.
But that was by design, Steve. I mean, Russ Turner said, "Look, we got to go in him," and they did, and they got him to pick up his foul. So that's some strategy.
Magai, 14 minutes, 2 points for the seventh leading scorer in the Big West. At 17 points a game, and a guy who's hit 83s, fifth most in the NCAA. He hasn't hit a three against Irvine all season in a game and a half. 2-point lead now for Irvine. Tate Jones. Saw that one sail over his head. K-Pitch was there. Howell will take it. Out to Gray. Sets his feet for a three, and down she goes.
Great confidence by Eric Olin's team. Boys.
Back out in front. Go the Tritons over the top. Leuston. And then Leuston's fouled from behind by Chris Howell.
And that's the second time now in this game where they've fed Ben Leuston from the top. There's just not a lot you can do from there. You just can't, because there's no help side. Here it is again. There's the high-low feed, and the defense just can't get there. I mean, you're playing some shooters in the corner. You can't get back down and close that shot down. That's great strategy. Again, it's great strategy.
Two now on Chris Howell. Leuston, 84% free throw shooter, part of a Irvine team that's third nationally, tops in the Big West at 81% from the free throw line. And Leuston is 4 of 5 at the line. He has 14 points. That's his first point of the second half, and it draws us even.
Well, both teams are good passing teams, and they're able to get shots for each other, but they use their scores to set up their passing. Again, they're probably going to have to do a good job on Tate Jones, because he's a load.
We could have 20 lead changes by the time the night's over. Here's Gray setting his feet. Another three. Back-to-back threes for Hayden Gray.
Well, no fluke. He's 40% from three. I mean, that's what he does. Phenomenal shooter.
He's got 10. The lead back to the Tritons. Dixon in time. Leuston. Double team comes, but it's a small double team. Leuston put it on the floor. Turns with a right hand. Missed it. Got his own offensive rebound. Put it up with the left hand. And they're going to call a foul on Irvine. An offensive foul on Ben Leuston.
Well, that's a tough call. I thought that Leuston had full control of possession. Wow, that's a tough call. They say he leaned in. Led with his arm, but I don't know. That's a tough one. Not really much contact. I mean, he did lead with the arm, but I didn't see really an advantage-disadvantage. Officials might have over-anticipated that call. Russ Turner and his staff really not happy with that call, and he's going to have a few words to express his opinion.
Well, that's the first on Bet, and he goes to the bench here. And we told you in that opening game, he picked up a foul in the opening minute, and he went immediately to Russ Turner's bench, and that's what happened here in the opening 4 minutes of the second half here. Tritons by 2. Gray, the leading scorer, with 10 now. Out to Howell, and down goes another three.
Well, he didn't hit iron on the last one. I'm not sure he even hit backboard in the last one. That was net. I mean, he's not afraid of the moment.
Tritons with a 7th made three. They're second behind Cal Poly in the Big West. They make just over 10 threes a game. 5-point advantage. Biggest tonight for UC San Diego, or either side for that matter, has been 7 points. Che, a deep three with Roshlin closing. Milovic the rebound. Rebounds favor Irvine, 19-16. Tate Jones downhill and draws a foul. Kyle Evans got him, the Colorado State transfer. And that's going to take us to a break. There used to be that song, right, in the 80s, It's Raining Men. Well, here tonight, you know this. Coach, you're old enough to know. It's
Thank you very
raining
much.
threes at the Bren Center
It sure
in
is.
Irvine. I won't sing, I promise.
Good stuff.
5-point road lead for UC San Diego. Steve Quis, Ben Braun back inside the Bren Center in Irvine. A lot of people are going to talk about the threes, and the Tritons have made 4 of 6 threes to open up the second half. But you've noticed something else with fast break points.
Well, you know, you look at it, and now it's UCSD that's gotten 12 fast break points to 1 for UCI. And UCI usually gets a lot more points in transition, and they've also, the Tritons have gotten 11 points off of turnovers. Again, you see Irvine, 11 turnovers. They don't normally turn it over, but credit to the Tritons defense. They're doing a good job.
First half, the Tritons were 3 of 11 on threes, all of them knocked down by Chris Howell. And then in the second half, they got some other guys involved. 4 of 6, 2 threes by Gray on back-to-back possessions. 1 by Howell, 1 by Kapich. And here's Tate Jones to the line.
Well, there's a challenge for you. If you really, Steve, if you're Irvine, you've got to solve, and any team for that matter, has got to solve Tate Jones, because he is so tough with the basketball. You put 2 guys on him, you find somebody, you almost got to put a man and a half a man. You stunt, and then you get back to your man, and that's what his team has done. And 2 missed free throws. And
he rarely ever misses. No. He's an 81% free throw shooter, and leading the nation in not only getting to the free throw line over 200 times this season, but in makes as well.
That's a big break for Irvine.
If he had made both there, it would have matched the biggest lead of the game for the Tritons of 7 on the road. Good extra pass inside. Tillis from Evans. Hockey assist, Shea. Foul counted.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say that's a little too unselfish for me. You're point blank at the rim, but you know what? You got to know your teammates better. Watch this. I mean, there's a great look inside, but how about the presence of mind to go block to block against the double team? Chance for a 3-point play here.
2 now on Justin Rochelin. Tillis completes the 3-point play. Back to a 2-point game. We've had 11 lead changes and 5 ties, so buckle up.
Now, listen, nobody's pulling away from anybody in this game. There's too much on the line, and these teams know each other, and these are the top 2 teams in the conference.
And there's going to be a foul away from the ball. Evans and Maximo Milovic getting into it right in the paint.
Yeah, it's interesting because this game was pretty free and easy the first half. This half, I think the officials are setting the tone to say we're not going to give either team an advantage with the bumping, because this game was physical, way more physical in the first half.
Tracking a lot like the first meeting. That was 60-52. You see San Diego scored 52 points, their lowest output of the season for a team that comes in second in the Big West, averaging 80 points a game. They scored 91 the other night against Riverside. In and out 3 from Rochelin. Offensive rebound, Milovic keeps the possession alive. And that's going to be off Tate Jones.
That was a really good defensive possession, because Tate Jones had beaten his defender. Unfortunately, the Anteaters, they were able to get a second defender there. You've got to do that off the dribble. A lot easier to defend off the dribble, you know, as a person's putting it down.
Tritons rarely turn it over.
9 a game here.
They're at 9 right now. Inside of 14 minutes to go, this battle for the top spot of the Big West. Irvine's won 22 in a row in this building. Perfect in this building last year, perfect so far this year. Torian Lee. Oh, great pass inside to Evans for the bucket.
Absolutely great look. Just what a great move to get the ball. Torian Lee, the freshman. Eyes are up, delivers.
You'll love this. 13 assists on 14 made field goals for Irvine. That's their first bench point of the game. And to the hole. And a great take there, Tate Jones.
He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he, Stevie?
Yeah.
He gets the rim, and you can use, you know, either hand. The first is right, but boy, he gets there in a hurry.
And here is a steal by Gray. It's what he does best, and reverse lay-in. That's defense leading to offense for the Tritons.
Yeah, and he does that kind of, you know, off the ball. It's not on the ball as much. His steals come off the ball. He came blind, and now the Irvine Anteaters return the favor. Return the favor by turning it over themselves here. But here's the Steelers team. Here's the point I'm making is, you're coming from the backside. You don't see him. He's there. And before you know it, he's off to the races. Just incredible pace. Almost 4-game leads the country.
83 total steals now, Coach, in 23-plus games, as you mentioned.
None better. And you got to devise your offense to make sure he's nowhere near the action because he will disrupt you.
And 8 of his 12 points have come in the second half. He's 5 of 8. And there is Rochelin with another 3 in the second half for UC San Diego.
Well, how about the confidence level of the Tritons? They're playing on the road in a gym where their team, Irvine, has lost 22 in a row. And they're playing with confidence.
8 threes in the game for the Tritons. Rochelin, another foul. And he's like, look, I'm tired of getting called for fouls against Irvine. I don't foul much. And for some reason, when I'm taking on the Anteaters, that's his 7th in 2 games so far.
No, but look at the kick ahead. That's just a miscommunication. But the kick ahead, there's an open player, you find them. But Russ Turner's team, they want to play more physically. They want to play more aggressively, both offensively and defensively.
And that's going to be out last touched by UC San Diego, sticking with Irvine. You have foul trouble for Magai with 4, 3 apiece for K-Pitch and Rochelin for the Tritons, and for the Anteaters, just 3 fouls for Yuji Dujele. And Ty Magai has just been sitting on Eric Olin's bench for quite a long time here. The 3rd, maybe the 7th leading scorer in the Big West. Dixon fouled in the act of shooting.
No, that's a good move. That's just a really strong, aggressive move. That's in the game plan. That's what you have to do against this Triton defense. But I like the activity of not settling, Stephen, taking it into the rim.
That's 4 now on Justin Rosh.
Here it is. That's just going up and, trying to take the offensive, take the charge. But you got to be aggressive, Steve. You play against good, aggressive teams. You got to be aggressive yourself.
In 2 games against Irvine, that young man Rochelin has 8 fouls in 23 minutes on the floor. He's got to be thinking, what do I need to do to stay in the game? He's going to go out, and Aiden Burke will come back in.
Well, you want to be aggressive, but you got to, again, discipline. It's so important that players understand the importance in their role about discipline.
Breaking the action, 12:26 to go, a 6-point lead for UC San Diego. UCSD 5 of 8 on threes in the second half. 4 different players, coach, have made one here in the opening 7.5 minutes of the second half.
No, they're lighting it up, and they're getting some open looks. Steve, you can see that they get their feet set, and they're knocking these down.
How come?
Well, there's a couple reasons. And Russ Turner, again, went over this at practice today. He said, look, guys, you got to help. Be on the line, a little bit up the line, and don't overcommit. Help get in the passing lane a little bit, but help and stunt and then get back. Right now, they're committing both feet. When you commit both feet to help, you're not going to recover. So you got to have one lead foot up, stunt at the ball, and then recover back. They were working on this in practice, but a little harder to do in the game because the Tritons are getting some open looks. So I'm sure that Coach Turner and the staff will talk about that at the timeout and say, look, guys, we still want to help, but we've got to get back to open three-point shooters.
This right here is the 20th free throw for Irvine. Only 8 taken by UC San Diego, who has a 5-point road lead here.
Yeah, they're in good shape here, but you are, but you're playing a team that's won 22 straight. So there's no lead that's safe here.
Offsetting the threes, all the foul trouble for UC San Diego. Magai back in with 4 personal fouls. Here's Aiden Burke. Aiden Burke gets in on the 3-point line.
Well, that was a zone, and that was a zone look, Steve. So there was 2 guys on the ball in the zone. 2 guys oftentimes get near the ball. You want to put one and recover. 2 guys got on the ball, and they left an open man.
Biggest lead of the night for UC San Diego. Into Loyston, and Howell's going to commit another foul.
Well, that's what you have to do.
And that's going to take us to a break. Aiden Burke, of all people, the sophomore from Los Gatos, California, Archbishop Mid. He only averages 4 a game. A big 3 there for the Tritons. Still a month to go in the regular season. This is a battle for first place. Biggest lead of the night for UC San Diego. They lead at 56-48 as they try and catch the UC Irvine Anteaters in the standings here in a very good Big West Conference this season. Steve Quis and Ben Braun with you, and it has just been remarkable how well the teams have played in the Big West. The top 2 teams, I think both of these, they're sitting here at 52 and 56 in the net today, and both could be 12 seeds in the NCAA tournament and do some damage on a 5 seed.
These are 2 of the top mid-majors in the country, Steve, make no mistake, and they're battling very tough in the Big West. They'd love nothing else to separate right here. These 2 teams have just dominated within this league. But they need to win this game. If you're the Anteaters, you got to protect home court. But if you are obviously UCSD, you can steal one here and return the favor because they lost their home streak against the Anteaters a while back. So it's amazing now that you've got an 8-point lead that the Anteaters have got to make up, and that's something they have not been in this position very often at home for sure.
Well, the Tritons are a team that can turn it on. They are 5th nationally in scoring margin, winning games by 17.4 points per game. That's tops of the Big West, and they have won 5 conference games by 20 or more points. And just the other night against Riverside, it's a 2-point lead at halftime, and they win by 20, 91-71. So
they can turn it on, but they don't usually beat themselves. 9 turnovers a game, that's pretty darn good.
With all the foul trouble, they've made 6 second-half threes on 9 attempts. 5 different Tritons have made a 3 in the second half, and that's offset all the foul trouble. Here's Burke. He wants another one. 7 second-half threes for UC San Diego.
Well, I was going to say the defense looked pretty good until they got confused, and two UC Irvine players were on one man, and that created the open look again. A little bit of miscommunication there defensively.
That stretches the lead to the biggest of the night, 59-50 into Loyston, who's quickly doubled. They've made it hard for him. He gets it to the corner, elevating for a 3 there, and missing for the Anteaters was Burke Jonikin, kid from Turkey. Tate Jones with Loyston there in the paint, though. They're going to give it up. K-pitch. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Timeout, Irvine.
Now, Russ Turner's got to use his timeout, Steve, because, again, a little bit of miscommunication. The ball moves faster than the defenders, but open looks from open offensive players. Defenders scrambling to get there, can't get out there in time.
11 threes now for UC San Diego. a 16-4 run. They've opened up their first double-digit lead of the night, and it's just not one guy.
No, it's the look they're getting. I mean, there's, again, you can see a little confusion with the Anteaters because there's just some open looks that normally don't get open like that. And so Russ Turner has to call a timeout, kind of fix this. I'm sure he'll go back to the man, and then you got to deal with Tate Jones, but you got to correct this first and just not give the open looks to UC San Diego. They're knocking it down. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
How remarkable is this for the Tritons? They have made 8 of their 11 threes in the second half, and it has come from 6 different players.
Well, to your point, Steve, they've also got 16 points off the bench to Irvine's 2, and that's a little bit unusual. Yeah. So they're getting some production, and they're causing some problems now for UC Irvine. Irvine's got to go back now. First and foremost on offense, they got to get some easy ones. See if they can get their big guy more involved. But defensively, they've got to communicate. They've got to get out there and do what they've done all year. They've been a really tough defensive team. Think about this. Irvine's held their opponents to 39% from the floor. That's good enough to win most of the games that they've played. But they're really struggling tonight in their home gym to get the Tritons under control.
10th game with 11 threes for UCSD this season. They're 9-0 in those games. 6th time that UC Irvine has allowed 11-plus threes in a game. Bounce pass inside to Tillis. Open is Dixon for a 3. Missed front iron. It's a one and done for Irvine. Numbers back the other way. Tate Jones goes to work on Loiston. Got a little body. He scores on the 7'1" German. It's a 14-point lead for UC San Diego.
I think what Tate Jones does inside is almost illegal, Steve. He gets you there, and he can get you up with both pivot feet. So hard to defend down there.
It's an 18-4 run. The Tritons are up by 14, and they're going to get another steal, what they do best. They get almost 11 of those a game, and that's going to be a kick off of Tillis out of bounds. 9:58 to go.
Let's take a look at the last look. I mean, there's that basket. There's the bump. There's the, the pivot. You just keep a pivot foot. He just keeps going until he can find you and get you to commit, and then he scores against you. Just great individual moves.
Howell walks in on the three-point shot.
You said it, Steve. Raining threes. I do remember that. I have been around long enough to remember.
That is, by my count, the 7th different Triton player to make a 3 in the second half. They have made 9 of 12 second half threes, and this has been their MO all year. They just turn it on at the snap of a finger. Hall needs this one to come down. Ice water in his veins there.
That's big, but come on. We'll stop the rain. You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
And you even remember that.
12 of 23, 52% on threes. If you're sitting as a 5 seed, do you want to see either one of these teams?
No, absolutely not.
And a foul, and they're going to get Loiston for the bump and the reach in on Tate Jones.
And Steve, you asked me that question, and having coached at the mid-majors and having spent a lot of time with mid-major teams, primarily, obviously, Eastern Michigan University, you got to really, you got to make your own breaks. Because you got to be really good. You got to win your conference tournament. You got to play teams that don't normally want to play you on your home floor. So you got to make a name for yourself, dominating your league, and just get better and better from tournament time.
Net 52 for UC San Diego. Net 56 coming in for Irvine. Gray, there's your heat check. But he did his part, right? He made the first 2 threes to start the fun of the second half here.
Well, that's a good possession for UC Irvine, but they've got to string a couple together, a couple stops, and then score.
Tillis into Loiston. They're swiping at it. No call there.
He had a chance to go up with his left hand, and he did, but he hurried himself just a little bit.
Again, all of this with the foul trouble for UC San Diego. If you're an Anteater fan, you're like, yeah, we got their best guys in foul trouble. The guy and the other guys have just said, okay, we'll knock down some shots. Tate Jones, no. Knocked down there by K-Pitch. Transition, here's Che to Justin Hone. Tillis was scoring quite a bit in the early going. He's got 8. Here's a 3 by Che. No. Loiston trying to get the offensive rebound. Who touched it last? The Tritons did. And it's out right at the 8-minute mark. What a spark by UC San Diego in this second half. They've made 9 of 12 threes, and just about everyone, except for one of the guys who leads the nation in threes, getting in on the fun. Talk about having each other's back on the road tonight in Orange County. Well, it is time for Ben Braun's mid-major watch list. There you go, Coach.
Yeah, well, you know, Steve, everybody knows St. Mary's, Randy Bennett, Mark Few, Gonzaga. I mean, they've been stalwarts every year. They're there. They can play with anybody nationally. Now you got teams, Utah State, San Diego State, who's been there, obviously, as well, Final Four. Drake, UC Irvine, San Francisco, who's had a tremendous year, and now UC San Diego. All of these teams can play, and you know, as mid-majors, they got to do it the hard way. They got to go on the road, play games. Yeah. They're not going to get teams to come in and play in their gym. But how do you like UC San Diego tonight, Steve? You're playing against Irvine, who's winners of 10 of their last 11 games and 22 in a row, and they're on the home floor beating them.
And they had a 17-point lead a moment ago. How about if you're on the 5 line, Lenardi's 5 line, Arizona, Michigan, UCLA, Memphis. You want to? I'm an Arizona alum. Oh, play on one of these teams.
No, and there's just so much parity in college basketball. But you know, the Big West is competitive. We give these two teams the accolades which they deserve. But there's some awfully good teams in this league. So these teams have done well against some awfully good teams in their own league.
Second on Niwa Tate Jones going to send Justin Hone to the free throw line. He's a grad student here, 138th career game for the Anteaters.
Well, if you want to climb back in this game, it's not just going to be by raining down threes or trying to match UC San Diego. You've got to go out there now and do what they're doing. Get to the foul line and get some stops and stop the clock a little bit, regroup, and make the free throws. But you've got to get there now. But the game's going to come down to seeing if you can get some stops. UC San Diego very comfortable on the floor right now.
13-point lead for UC San Diego, coming up on 7.5 to go. Again, we told you that unbeaten 15-0 when leading at half this season. Just turned it on a moment ago, an 18-4 run to get up 17. Now they'll be patient. Here's Magai. And Magai gets his 81st of the season to go down 5th most in the NCAA.
See, that wasn't too far away from us. I mean, that was way out. That thing was from deep.
16-point lead. That's his first 3 make of the season in 2 games against the Anteaters. Tillis a big 3.
You just get the feeling if Irvine can get a couple stops, they can get this crowd back into the game and get on a run.
Tate Jones against Loiston, who blocked it at the rim. Chance for a run here for Irvine. Hone launches the 3. Misses, rebounded by Howell. Justin Hone has 176 career threes. And look at that on the other end. Defense, will it lead to offense? Tillis hopes so. Reward the big man, and they do.
Love that sequence, Steve. That's getting it done. You get the stop. You run the floor in transition. You can't waste time arguing with the officials. Get back.
Tillis, the assist, is 4th of the night. They've got 15 assists on 17 made. Jones against Loiston. Out to K-pitch, and we've got an injured player. It looked like Chris Howell went down, and right at the feet of his brother, Mikey Howell, who's on the coaching staff here, is also the all-time leading assist man at the University of San Diego. Well, University of California, San Diego, rather.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to review this one. The officials are. They've asked to get a review.
Potential flagrant 1, maybe. I didn't see what happened, but I did see Howell go down.
Far into the court. But things are picking up, Steve. You see the Anteaters now are digging in a little bit defensively.
Yeah, this would be big. Back to an 11-point game after the Tritons were up 16 a moment ago. They've been up as many as 17. And so they're going to look to see. Again, it was away from the ball on the left wing there, and Howell went down hard onto his back.
Yeah, there was some contact. They're going to see. I think they're saying play on.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to be tough here. Here it is.
And there was no common foul call, by the way. Look to the left of your screen there. That's Hone. Howell was trying to set the screen, and Hone.
Yeah. I think that's the right call. But you're Irvine here. You've got to get a stop again and try to convert just to get this crowd back into it, get this thing lead under double-digit numbers, and you got to run in you. You don't win 22 in a row at home if you don't have the ability to make a run.
Tate Jones sets his feet. Jones with a miss.
Well, they're going to give him that shot.
Yep.
And rather than allow him to penetrate and hurt you to the basket.
And you can see he's almost thinking about it too much. And that might play to the advantage of UC Irvine, who's down 11, trying to cut it under double digits for the first time in a while. Loyston can make a three out there. I don't think he's attempted one yet in this game. He's passing inside to Loyston, and an offensive foul on Ben Loyston.
Well, Russ Verner's going to be careful here. He does not like that call, and he's letting the officials know. Here it is. Here's the screen. And there's the offhand by Loyston.
Didn't look like there was a lot there. Oh, yeah, with a little push.
Yeah,
you're right. Brighton turned it over for a 10th time on the run at Tillis. Here come the Anteaters.
Oh, I love that play in transition. Great job by Devin Tillis in transition for the two.
Listen to this bar in the Bren Center in Orange County at Irvine. Timeout, UC San Diego, a 7-0 run for the Anteaters.
Well, I'm glad we're staying, and I'm going to have to implore our viewers to stay around. Don't go anywhere. How about this last break? This is getting the ball in Devin Tillis' hands. Did a good job of keeping his dribble alive and took it right to the hoop. Now it's again going to come down to UC Irvine if they can get some stops. They've had an answer the last couple of possessions defensively.
Yeah. This is M to the third power. Mid-major madness tonight on a Saturday night in Irvine, California.
It doesn't get any better, Steve. You've got great atmosphere. You've got a sold-out arena. Two teams playing for first place, trying to get in a position to get to the NCAA end of the year. This is a huge game. You can't sugarcoat this. Both teams want this bad.
And I think both of them are hoping for a return engagement a third time in the championship game of the Big West Tournament in Henderson, Nevada.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Tate Jones going to work on Loyston, who's got 3 fouls. Coming up on 5 minutes to go, the lead is 9. Tate Jones is going to take it. Tate Jones is going to make it.
Yeah, you only need to make one of those, and he did. So that extends the lead. Great confidence.
Only the bus driver for UC San Diego has not made a second half three. Over the top to Loyston, keeps it alive. Got away with a little bit of movement of the feet there, and he's going to get fouled. And if that's on Roshland, and it is, that's his 5th, and he's been disqualified.
How about Tate Jones from the top? You have been giving him this shot. This time, tees it up and knocks it down. But again, I like Irvine's ability to go right back and get the ball down low to Ben Loyston, because I don't know if Titans have an answer for him down low.
Justin Roshland fouls out with 7 points in 18 minutes.
Yeah, keep your eye on that. That could be, it's again a one player down. Your bench now gets depleted a little bit.
Well, start your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's basketball matchups. Stanford and Louisville are at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN2, followed by number 2 South Carolina, number 4 Texas on ESPN. Then at 4 Eastern, it's 6th-ranked LSU hosting 19th-ranked Tennessee at the Maravich Center down in Baton Rouge. Steve Quis, Ben Braun with you. Saturday night in the OC. Ben Loyston with 19 points. Into the free throw line 8 times. He's made 7 of 8. And he's got another 20-point game against UC San Diego this season. First time around, he had 23 and 13 with 2 blocks. He drew 8 fouls, and he was plus 23 in the plus-minus.
Well, they're going to need him, every bit of him down the stretch of this game to climb back in it. But they're within striking distance now, Steve. They've got to get stops, though, to continue to get a chance.
Titans have made 14 threes, 11 of 16 on threes in the second half. Gray to Tate Jones. They're just daring him to shoot that 3. 4.5 minutes to go. Tate Jones drives baseline. He's really good doing this, and he's going to travel.
And he did. That's a great call by the officials. That happened because of one Mr. Ben Braun.
Yeah.
He's 7'1" player. You can't move him. You can see it. That's the right call. Good stop. I mean, you see the drive. You can see it coming up. There's the shuffle.
That's the 6th turnover of the game for Niwa Tate Jones. He's battling Ben Braun for Player of the Year in the conference. Down to Tillis, posting up and waving off the travel on the other end. And that is the 16th turnover of the evening for Irvine.
Well, officials are consistent. They call it on one end, call it the other. No argument from Russ Turner. But again, if you're Irvine, you got to continue to get stops.
Both teams have 2 fouls. They could have 2 timeouts remaining. The possession arrow pointing toward the Tritons. Tate Jones with 13. Tate Jones lines up another 3 and misses. Leaving the door open for Irvine. 10-point lead inside of 4 minutes to go. Here's Chavez with floater. No. And rebound K-pitch.
I don't think Russ Turner was happy about that particular shot. I think you just went down low to Loishin. I think probably wanted to go back down there one more time.
Time a guy lost the handle on it, turns it over. Loishin ahead to Hone, blocked by Tate Jones, and it'll be UC San Diego basketball. They say Hone touched it last after the block. Time out on the floor. 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go. A hotly contested battle in Orange County. This is supposed to be a peaceful county. First place on the line of the Big West, a game separating the 2 in the standings with Irvine up by a game on UC San Diego. 10 points separating the 2 now with 3:32 to go.
Well, you see why UC San Diego's taken this lead. I mean, look at the bench production, look at their 3-point production the second half, and the balance. 4 guys, 12 plus. That's impressive. UCI with Ben Braun, obviously another solid game, but they're going to need some other guys to step up. Irvine is, and they're going to have to start doing something on the defensive end.
These 2 teams call them streak busters if it ends this way, because UC San Diego will have ended if they can win this and hold on the 22-game home court winning streak. And a month ago, Tritons had the longest active winning streak in the nation and just overtaken Tennessee, and Irvine came in and punched them out.
Both of these teams are not afraid for a challenge. They go on each other's home court. They compete. That could very well happen. That both teams knock each other off and their streaks. I mean, these 2 teams could win 25 games, maybe. Who knows, 30? I mean, UCI's up. They've done it. They're at 30. They put a 31 piece a couple of years ago, got to the second round of the tournament. But these are 2 competitive teams going at each other tonight.
With all the foul trouble, the Tritons have asked their bench to score, and they have a 16-2 advantage. 7 different players in this game have made a 3 for the Tritons. They've made 14 in this game, 11 in the second half. And the door left open again. Shea to Dixon. Dixon terminated his dribble. Here's Shea, baseline, a little too hard. Rebound Tate Jones. Tate Jones is going to drive and a reach-in foul on Tillis. And wanting credit for the basket is Tate Jones, not the NBA, not even the G League.
No, that was actually a pretty good foul because he was about to get to the rim. But I think what Irvine's doing, and they're getting them together as a team, they're talking about it. They, usually Ocean's a kid that, is not going to say much, but I quietly pulled his teammates aside and said, hey, look, I've got some position down low. Let me see the rock, because you want your big guys to want the ball. You have big guys that don't want the ball, that don't throw it to them, but he's asking for the ball.
2 big free throws by the best shooter in the country at getting to the line and making them. Tate Jones has been to the free throw line 5 times in this game. He's 3 of 5. Made that one to put his team up 11.
Well, this is the danger area part of the game, Steve. You can't come down and waste a possession now. You got to get on the board, and then you've got to go back and somehow get some stops.
The Kiwi makes them both. He's got 15 points. Lead is 12 inside of 3 minutes to go. And a travel on Irvine and another ill-advised turnover.
Well, trying to do too much. Again, that's the second time in a row, forcing the action. And you admire the courage and to be able to compete and do some things, but you've got to play some percentages. You got a guy on your team. He's a 7-footer. Play that percentage. He'll pay off. That dividend will pay off for you.
By the way, Irvine is #1 in the Big West coming in, holding opponents to 31% on threes. And the Tritons have made 48% from beyond the arc. And they're 11 of 18 in the second half. Here's Tate Jones, and touched last by Irvine.
Yeah, now we got a short clock, so if you are the Tritons, you've got to get a shot up in a hurry here.
4 seconds to shoot, 2:31 to go. In it goes to an open Tate Jones, and he's going to rattle home another 3. 12 second-half threes for UC San Diego.
That's confidence, Steve. That's nothing more than confidence.
12th game this season with 10 or more three-point makes. They're 15 of 30 from beyond the line. A 3, no. And underneath, they're going to be a foul on K-Pitch.
Well, if you're UC San Diego and you can hold on, this would be a big win, obviously. But it's not just, who they're playing and what they're doing. It's kind of how they're playing. And look at the ability now. You got an open, a man that's usually not a three-point shooter, but when the moment, and it's a big moment, is there, he knocks it down for his team. That's what competitors do.
And with Tate Jones had been getting hot after the Riverside game. He had made 6 of his last 10 threes.
Oh, he had 28 in his last one. So, he can score when he wants to, but as I said earlier, he does do a good job of getting his teammates involved because he knows that he's going to get the attention of the other opposing players.
And again, a battle for Conference Player of the Year between Loishton and Aniwa Tate Jones. They are 1-2 right now, and Loishton has 22 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 7 rebounds, 10 of 11 at the line. And he'll go to the bench here momentarily with his team down 13.
Well, if you're Irvine, you got to try to pick up the pressure here.
And they do, and we're going to have a foul. Wow.
That was pretty good defense from here.
It's on Eugene Dugele, and we're going to have free throws back on the other end here.
Here it is. There's the double team coming.
Yeah.
And then the obvious across the arm. Officials getting it right. Steve, we think we see something, but the official's on it. So if you're San Diego, UC San Diego, you got to knock down your free throws and secure this.
Tate Jones makes the front end. He's got 19. How about this note just handed to me? UC Irvine has lost only 1 game by 10 or more points in the last 5 years, and that would have been in 2022. They lost by 14 to Fresno State out of the Mountain West Conference.
Well, that should tell you how good UC San Diego is to accomplish this. Again, UC Irvine winners of 10 of the last 11, 22 in a row. I mean, you've got to put an effort to beat this team. They're usually not going to beat themselves.
Tritons are 157 away from moving into a first-place tie with UC Irvine. A miss on the drive there by Dixon.
I've been impressed, and I said this yesterday at practice when we were at UC San Diego's practice, but Eric Olin was very calm, very confident, as was his players. I'm saying, do you know what you're running into here? I mean, it's going to be a tough game. He said, yeah, they're all tough, but we lost last time, but we're due.
Oh, the kid from Austria puts another shrimp on the Barbie.
Well, there's that confidence. The coach must have known something, because he was too calm for me yesterday. I told Coach Olin, I said, I don't know. I'd be a little more nervous looking than you are. But he knows his team, and his team he felt was ready to play.
16 threes for the Tritons. 13 of the 16 made in the second half. K-Pitch and Loishton worn there. That's going to be a jump ball to be UC San Diego basketball, 1:20 to go. And they've got their biggest lead of the night, an 18-point advantage.
Well, and let's get this in perspective, Steve. If they're going to hold on, which it appears they will, to win this game, look, they're going to have to probably face this team again, maybe in the tournament. What a matchup that'll be again, probably with all the marbles. I mean, The next time they play is not just for first place. It's about going to the NCAA tournament. So they're both hoping they can get to their conference championship to get a chance to split this tie.
First half, the Tritons were 3 of 11 on threes, 13 of 20 in the second half. Got an 18-point lead coming up on a minute to go. Big West Conference is a minute 11 away from having not one but two 20-win teams on February the 8th at the close of business.
Yeah, no, this is a big signature win for Eric Olin and what his program has meant. I mean, again, coming back all the way from the Division II affiliation, putting in for membership, going through some growing pains, and he's got his program here with obviously the #1 team in the league and the team that's been dominating this league for some time. As we mentioned, both UC Irvine and UC Santa Barbara have been the top 2 teams.
21 tonight for Tate Jones. Along with 8 rebounds, he has 8 assists, a steal, and a block. Hayden Gray with 4 more steals tonight to give him a NCAA leading 85 total steals.
Now that's unheard of.
Just the way they drew it up, huh? They just had to work it out. And this Triton team, that's their MO, just finding a run and snapping their fingers. They beat teams by an average of 17 points a game. Dixon stores in the paint. Inside of a minute to go. 85-67. K-Pitch with 15 tonight. He's made 3 threes. Matching a career high for him. No, check that. He had 7 threes against Bakersfield, but a timeout. 47.8 to go. And Hayden Gray, what a night he's had again. Wednesday was named one of 15 players on the midseason Naismith Defensive Player of the Year watch list. And next night he had 7 steals, and he follows it up with 4 more tonight. 11 this week alone.
Not bad for a Division II player, as they say. But, again, that's nonsense to me. I've coached Division II players. One that exactly became Player of the Year, helped our team get to an NCAA Sweet 16 team. So forget about where they play. Players can play. It doesn't matter what division they're at. They'll play. But, let's put this perspective. Look at the crowd. Both teams, bringing their fan base. Irvine did a great job promoting this game, getting a sold-out arena. This is the atmosphere you want. They're going to have more games at home. It's a tough loss. But, Steve, this program has been at the top, and it's great to see their hometown fans come out and support their local UC Irvine.
Yeah, you saw those smiles in the Tritons huddle, and I think right now they realize just how good a basketball team they are. Net 53, and again, they've got an 18-point lead. Here was a 2-point lead at halftime for the Tritons. They're going to be 16-0 now with leading at half, which is unbelievable. And you see the Big West top 2 right here. It's about to be 10-2 apiece here in 47.8 seconds.
You're Eric Olin. What do you do for an encore? I mean, I used to have problems with my teams after big wins. Sometimes their heads got a little big, but something tells me these guys have a pretty good perspective on who they are and what they need to do. But make no mistake, this was a huge undertaking, and they got the job done.
Tate Jones missed it. High IQ guys, 6 Division II transfers, playing with a chip on their shoulder. Still a long way to go in conference play, though. You're going to have 2 teams that have 12 of the 20 games left, and for the Tritons, they haven't played Davis yet at all.
No, and I got to make a statement here. I'd hate to play the Anteaters next. If you're Russ Turner, whoever you got, join in, because this team will be ready.
It's Santa Barbara. It's you and I back here.
Oh, boy, I know. That's
an 8 o'clock start.
That's a rough one.
And not only is it 8 o'clock start, but the next day, Irvine has to travel to Hawaii, so a tough road coming up.
It's that's going to be tough. But hey, this tonight was all about UC San Diego. They held down second half, and give them credit, Steve. They put their performance on the line, and they got it done.
And they win it by 18. They've been beating teams this year by an average of 17.4. 13 second half threes. For Ben Braun, our terrific crew, I'm Steve Quis. Thanks for watching. Good night from Irvine, California. Tritons get it done.